Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for attending the webinar. Sorry, I got a little bit of pushback then. Um, your mics are muted at the moment just because we occasionally get a bit of background interference, obviously, as you heard then from my speakers and the background that I'm in. So please don't obviously try and say anything. You can use the raise your hand function if you do have any questions at any point. But please obviously just sort of hang on for a second and let us get through the presentation. We've got a section at the end which is about questions and answers and such. So I'll give you a little bit of information and you can obviously jump in with your questions if we haven't answered it. Obviously, myself and my colleague Helen Rawlins will be delivering today. We'll do a little bit of introduction as we get a little bit further in. But yeah, obviously just please use the chat function and the Q&A function if you haven't used them before, just to ask any questions, which again we can ask at the end. We're going to share a couple of polls through the chat function as well, just so we can sort of figure out why you guys are kind of here and what you really want to achieve through it. So just bear in mind there might be a little pop-up that comes, which is just asking you for a little bit of information. So we're just going to send one out now, which is basically just what are you trying to achieve with the Dance Leaders program, essentially. So why you're here, what you're looking to achieve, and we'll hopefully try and sort of tailor some question and answers at the end just for your benefit, really, if there's anybody who's got any specific questions. That's in the chat now if you haven't seen it already or you haven't received the pop-up. So please feel free just to answer that and just give it a little bit of context as well. Cool. Okay, so just a little bit of background on who we are, really. We're a national awarding body. We've been around for about 40 years. We were originally sports leaders, and prior to that, we were the British Sports Trust, focused around leadership through community sport, essentially. So the focus of what we've done for a number of years is young people developing skills through practical learning and volunteering. Over the last, I think, 40 years, it's about 2 million leaders that have been through our program. So we've certificated around 2 million people, which is a huge amount when you consider that sort of impact on the local public and in terms of facilitating physical activity for young people. Just last year, we certificated at 80,000 leaders, so a huge amount going forward doing leadership and actually undertaking leadership and leading other people and volunteering. We totaled around about 500,000 volunteering hours last year as part of our qualifications. So huge amount of focus on community volunteering, community leadership, and community impact as well. Just moving into today, one of the key focuses of what we're going to do is look at kind of the whole program itself around dance leadership, how it sort of fits into your organization. We'll then look at sort of some key features and sort of benefits of running the program, a little bit of detail, and then look at your delivery journey of sort of how you can potentially move through our organization to get yourself set up as a deliverer. So without further ado, we'll sort of get started. Obviously, my name's Rob, as I've alluded to at the start. I'm the development manager here at Leadership Skills Foundation, so my role is to support centres in getting set up and essentially delivering the courses as effectively as possible. I'm a former teacher, delivered our programmes in mainly a sports setting, in secondary schools and further education colleges. And I'm joined by my colleague Helen, who's kind of in the background, sort of answering your questions on the chat, answering questions in the Q&A section and doing a little bit of the admin side of things, who's one of our development officers and again a former teacher within education around our programs as well. So what are we here for? We're here for dance leadership. So we have a couple of programs on dance leadership. We've got a level 1 and a level 2 program, level 4 and 5 if you're from Scotland. So it's a slightly different framework. The whole principle of it is that these are proper qualifications. So they're nationally recognised and nationally regulated. So they sit on the RQF framework at the specific levels of which they're essentially proper qualifications. There's a regulatory side to it, there's a delivery side to it, and there's an assessment side to it. But the whole focus of it is it's about young people learning to plan, lead, and evaluate physical activity sessions through the medium of dance. So it's about them being able to lead activity effectively, but also develop those skills around communication, teamwork, self-belief, confidence building, resilience, all of those sort of softer skills, which I think sometimes taken for granted and a little bit kind of out of the mainstream education side of things. Again, we like to consider ourselves the industry leaders in leadership skill development for young people. Been doing it for 40 years, so we've got a good understanding of how to develop these programs and how to implement them within different organisations and the actual benefits for the students as well. It also links into a lot of national skills agendas, so there's a big push more of since the change of government around a bit more of a soft skill approach to young people. So these courses kind of link into that. And they are very simple, very flexible to deliver. They can be delivered in a number of different settings, a number of different ways, and it's not kind of a very rigorous in terms of structure how you deliver the programs. It's very much up to you guys as the deliverers or potential deliverers of who can deliver the programs and how they can deliver it. So how can it fit into your setting? So essentially, we have a range of different organizations and types of organizations that run these programs. So we have a predominantly education-based or community-based. There's very different types of organizations that run them, but they tend to fall into those two different brackets. So they can be delivered within education, within your sort of core dance, PE, physical activity sort of environments, potentially through drama as well. They can be delivered at extracurricular clubs, lunchtime clubs, after school. You can target young people who need the specific skills that we're requiring, and we have a number of schools that go through pupil premium to sort of target students and fund it in that way. In terms of community organisations, whether you're a dance body or you're a youth club, however that is, you can deliver the programs kind of how it's best for your young people. That's probably the best way I'll describe it. I've previously delivered our programs in youth clubs prior to joining Leadership Skills Foundation, and we delivered them very, very differently, even though we were delivering the same program. So occasionally we'd deliver it on a weekly basis, maybe doing an hour a week, 2 hours a week with certain young people. Other times we'd run them through holiday camps, or we'd run them intensively through a week. But it gives you that flexibility to decide kind of how you want to deliver the program and how you want to move through the learning content, which I think is one of the main kind of benefits of these types of programs. Is it does allow you that flexibility to be able to do it as you see fit. There's obviously a little bit of a structure there in terms of the units that you need to deliver essentially, and the volunteering that young people need to do. But in terms of how you break that down, it's pretty much up to you how you do that, which is sort of the key thing from our point of view as a delivery body, as an organisation. Some of the key elements to it in terms of what we offer in terms of the programs and the main benefits of it really is it does sort of support your priorities in terms of your organization, whether you're education based, school, college, or whether you are in a community setting. So there's a big push around that character education within curriculum, but also within young people's activities outside of education. So making sure that young people are able to develop those personal skills, develop their behavior, positive attitudes, and develop sort of responsible, confident young people going forward. Developing these skills has also been shown to improve engagement behavior. So linking into elements around young people going forward into employment or into future education as well, developing resilience, developing that sort of responsibility. And that's one thing I've found with delivering these programs previously is you do get a lot of young people that you wouldn't expect to sort of take on a leading role, that really thrive on the responsibility of leading others. And you can really see that development in some people moving through the programs. It develops those skills for life, and we currently have partnered with an organisation called Skills Builder, which is a kind of a lobbying body that's looking at building a universal skills framework. What that means is sort of layman terms is a common framework and common vocabulary for talking about skills. So previously it's been noted as soft skills, employability skills, essential skills, but it's trying to pull together all those elements to actually just have a common knowledge, common framework, and common terminology we all use to refer to this. So all our programs are linked into that, and the skills that we offer through our programs actually links directly into that universal framework, which is a really key sort of selling point when we're trying to convince learners of what is the benefit of these programs, why am I doing it, what am I getting out of it. As I've said before, the key elements are that they're flexible and easy to deliver. It fits within a timetable. If you're in a teaching role, if you're in a community organisation, they are very, very flexible. So that is for me one of the key things. Another good part of it is it actually, because of the volunteering element of what we do, so learners obviously go through a study program, develop some skills, and then they have to volunteer as part of the program within their local community or their local organisation. It actually raises the reputation of one, young people in the area, but also number two, your organisation. Because obviously, if you've got some qualified, you've got some young people that are actually going out into sister organisations, partner organisations, local schools, local groups. That's developing some partnerships for yourselves. It's developing the reputation. It's enhancing that engagement between community links, and it can really sort of benefit your organisation as well. Obviously, key parts of it is it is a regulated qualification, so we will have that key element of achievement. So it validates the students' learning, validates what they're doing, and it shows that progress and that achievement of what they're able to achieve. So some really key elements to that. One of the big focuses that we have as again as an awarding body is to make sure that the qualifications are regularly reviewed and regularly updated. So that's something that we do on a very regular basis. Sort of every 3 years, we review our qualifications, review the skills framework that they're on, and review the assessment materials to make sure that they're quite current. And that's one thing that you can rely on when you deliver one of these programs, is that they are quite current in terms of what we do with them and the design of the courses. One of the other key elements to it is we do provide all the information for you. So essentially, we provide all the digital learning resources, we provide the assessment materials, everything is ready to deliver. Essentially, it's all on our online portal. There's a range of different activities which obviously link into the course delivery that you need to complete. And there's a range of notes, tutor supports there. And you also get a support network from our organisation as well, just to help you sort of move through that system. If you are from a more of an education background, our courses do link into the new Ofsted framework as well, so around the report card system. So there's some key elements of the skill development aspect that actually help contribute directly to some of the new assessment criteria that's come through Ofsted in the last sort of month or two. So some really good information there, and we can share that information with you if you've got any questions or anything about it. Yeah, moving on, just sort of go through a few of the more finer details of the program. Obviously, we have a level 1 and level 2, as we alluded to earlier. Each one of those has a minimum age because obviously they're regulated programs. It's 26 hours to deliver a level 1 and 30 hours to deliver a level 2. So there's not a huge difference between the two. The level 2 is just a little bit more in depth in each one of the units that's required, which looks at the skills a little bit more holistically. And very much the level 1, the outcome is that they're assisting leader, whereas level 2, they're actually a qualified leader. And the difference in the outcomes is an assisting leader essentially has to have eyes on supervision once they're qualified. So they need to have somebody in the room supervising them while they're leading and volunteering. Whereas at level 2, they basically can have indirect supervision. So they don't have to have eyes on supervision, but they're obviously not the responsible person on site. So somebody else has to be on site that's essentially responsible for that delivery. So that's kind of the difference between the two. Just a little bit there in terms of the actual detail of the programs and kind of how they're broken down. Level 1 has 3 units. So there's an established leadership skills, which is about them learning about the leadership skills I've mentioned. Level 2 is about their skill set in terms of planning, assisting, leading, and then reviewing the activity. And then Unit 3 is about them leading dance activities to promote healthy activity lifestyles within their peer group. At which point they would then go off and volunteer in the local community within your organisation or wherever they're going to achieve that volunteering time. Level 2 is a little bit different, a bit more comprehensive in terms of the fact that it's essentially those learners are responsible for the delivery of a session. They build leadership skills, which again is a little bit similar to Unit 1 in level 1. The courses are designed so young people can enter at any level. So we set them up right from the start as if nobody's done leadership before. So the delivery is nice and smooth from level 1 or level 2. So if you have got a group of students which might be 16, 17 years old, you can go in at the level 2 as an entry point, and I'd probably recommend that as well. Again, we're sort of linking into a dance event unit as well. So there's an event unit at Unit 3 which isn't in the level 1. It's only in level 2. So that's creating a series of events, and they take on the organising role in the event. Unit 4's choreography, so that's very much the specifics of the dance activity, and then there's the leading dance activity sessions, which is the other one. Just going to show you a couple of sets of the resources, and these just obviously screen grabs from our website in terms of the resources and some of the activities. So as you can see there, this is Unit 1. This is very much getting them in the mindset of leadership and understanding what leadership is and how are they going to lead. What we do with that is we always ask people to sort of think of a leader, think of an effective leader and the roles and responsibilities of that, and get that discussion happening between your learners on the course about what those are, and looking at the differences between some of those roles as well. And there's some examples there as well in the teaching resources for you. We obviously then try and bring that to life with a few different activities. This is from Unit 1, so it's relatively straightforward stuff, but at the same time, it's about actually putting that down visually. And obviously some learners like communicating, verbally, some like visuals, and we try and incorporate the vast majority of learning styles within our resources as well. These courses are designed to be practical, so they're designed to be actual practical activities within Dance Studio. It's not designed to be sort of a standard but teach PowerPoint type session. So that's just something to be aware of, is that that's one of the key elements of what we do. It's very much practical based learning rather than theoretical based learning, despite the fact there's some activities which just help reinforce that learning as well. Great stuff. So in terms of the actual practicalities of setting up with us, essentially, you kind of go through this process. We have a registration and approval process because we're a regulated awarding body. We need to approve every centre that comes on board with us, just to make sure you're a reputable organisation. We term it as. That's kind of some off-call guidance that we've been given to do, but generally, providing you're a regulated organisation or charity or club or business, you'll be fine to deliver one of our programs. You just need to set yourself up on our website, which is pretty straightforward, and we can show you some steps of how to do that after we finish the official presentation. You then get access to all the delivery materials. We ask everybody in terms of the delivery to do some training modules, which just help your staff get up to speed in terms of the delivery of the qualifications, and it just helps the understanding of sort of that delivery and the assessment process that we have to go through. But like I say, we have a range of support webinars, support materials, and staff to kind of get you through that process of setting up. And anybody can do sort of one-to-one conversations with you if you need that when you're setting up. Obviously, at that point, you're then in a place to deliver. Obviously, as you're going through the delivery, we're still there to support you. So if you do have any questions as you're moving through that, then we're there to help you. At that point, you get to the point where you need to certificate the course. We have a quality assurance process where we just need to standardise the work that learners have completed. And then you basically celebrate the achievement of the student, however you want to do that, whether that's through the certification, whether it's an awards evening, however you want to do it. But essentially, it's about just sort of seeing the difference and rewarding those students for that impact of the programme that they've been delivered and that the volunteering that they've delivered as well. Okay, cool. So just moving in, any questions at all? I know there's been a few things going off in the chat, but if you do have a question, please raise your hand and we'll allow your mic, and you can obviously ask the question that you need to. Helen's manning the question and answer box as well. No questions coming forward. Helen, is there anything in the Q&A?
Yes, we've got a few that came in earlier. The main things in the chat were why they wanted to join today, which is fantastic, about encouraging strong standards and new facilitators and attracting people beyond sport. But I've got a couple of questions. How does this course differ from teaching dance itself?
So the difference between being a dance teacher and being a leader is the technical element. So we obviously, this isn't a dance teaching qualification, it's a dance leading qualification. Very much a case of facilitating activity based around dance rather than teaching technique based elements. That's kind of how we differentiate between the two. You're very much not a dance coach, it's very much a dance leader. And if you've done our kind of sports stuff as well in prior organizations, or if your organization deliver the sports, it's very much the same type of thing. It's not actually coaching a physical activity, it's facilitating a physical activity in terms of leading an active session and making it fun and enjoyable. That's the key elements of what we do.
And is there an optimum group size, smallest number it will work with?
Yeah, I think around about 5 to 6 is probably the minimal that you'd need, because obviously a lot of the activities themselves require basically teaching a theme and then asking each learner to lead that theme to a group of students. So you need a group of probably 5 or 6 to actually make that happen, so that one's leading while the others are then participating, because it is very much peer-to-peer leadership. So you just need to make sure there's enough people in the group to actually do the qualification, I think. And that just, number one, for you, it's a better experience teaching it, but number two, for the learners, it's a much better experience. In terms of an ideal number, anywhere between 10 and 20 is probably sufficient. Over 20, you're probably just biting off quite a big chunk in terms of the time you need to then allow students to lead each other. There's quite a big chunk in there in terms of the time.
Another question here. I have students completing this that studied GCSE and A-level dance. So can I award them for some units that they have done currently demonstrated on these dance courses already?
Yeah, so each one of when we approve you, you can kind of talk through what you're already doing through GCSE and A-level dance. You will have students which will be very, very sort of skilled in that area. We do a little bit RPL in terms of reflective recognition, but you need to still provide and reference where that is through our assessment materials. So essentially, we provide you with what we call learner evidence record, which identifies our criteria and what's required for the students. If you have evidence somewhere else that learners have completed that or have prior learning of it, you can then reference where that is, providing it meets the set criteria. So it can be done, yes. We do that on an individual basis, and what I'd probably say is whoever your support person is, we'd refer you to our quality assurance team just to make sure that what you provide is sort of suitable for achieving the qualification.
Thank you. Okay, looking at cohorts that are 19 plus, some with knowledge and prior experience, what are some kinds of participant created dance events for level 2?
So in terms of dance events, it's in terms of those events, what we try and encourage them to do is any type of event that incorporates dance. So any type of festival or showcase would probably be the best way to put it. And that's probably the best approach to have that as an event. So some sort of event which showcasing the dance activity, which they've got that prior knowledge and experience. It's organizing that as an event rather than just a taught session, if that makes sense. Hopefully that's all clear enough, but it's very much sort of that showcase or dance event that we try and bracket it. Part of the specification has some examples of what you can do as well. So it does give you a little bit of a leg up in terms of some ideas.
And another question, Katerina, just missed out on the costs involved.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the cost. So we have a 2-tier pricing scale. Let me just scroll back so you can actually see that. We'll get that on the screen for you. Sorry, 2 seconds. Click it back. Yeah, there we go. So we basically have a 2-tier pricing scale, which it's basically cheaper to put stuff through with us before the end of October. Again, because we're quite linked into education, we tend to sort of focus on registration periods around that time, which we have an early bird offer for that. So £29 for the level 1, 39 for the level 2, which goes up by £5 once it gets to the 1st of November. That ticks up. One thing that I was going to mention sort of after the questions is essentially we've got a bit of an offer for people who've attended, which basically if you get your courses into us before October half term, now I realise that's a really sort of short term time frame. So let's say the end of October, there's actually a 20% discount off the registration fees. So just bear that in mind. And if you are interested, then please get in touch with us after the webinar, and we'll sort of guide you on the next steps of what you need to do. We do follow up after the webinar as well with an email of the recording and our contact details. So just please sort of engage with that and reply to us and contact us through that medium, and we'll basically get in touch with you on the registration process. Good stuff. Any other questions at all? Please feel free to raise your hands. There's no excuse me. Okay, are we done for questions, Helen? There's nothing else coming in through the Q&A?
No, Emma's just tapping. However, Emma's not been able to hear anything throughout the whole of the recording, so maybe just responding. So that's fine. Okay, I've already registered. So does that mean I miss out on the discount? I've been invoiced already.
Unfortunately, yes, I think it will be. If you've got any issues, please get in touch. It's this kind of like a new introductory kind of offer for new centres, essentially. But yeah, please get in touch with your relationship manager or as an organisation. We'll chat through that. Yeah, good stuff. I don't think there's any more questions.
I think there's just one person typing at the moment, so I don't.
Great stuff. While waiting for that to come in, I will.
Please, can you email follow-up call? Thanks. So yeah, that's Katerina. So yes, we will be doing that.
Yeah, thanks, Katerina. We'll do that. We'll follow up directly with you. Okay, fantastic. I am just going to throw another poll into the question. Again, it's just kind of a bit of feedback from us really about what else we could have provided on these webinars. We're doing quite a series of them. We just kind of want to make them as effective as possible. So I'm just waiting for my poll system to load up. So I'll just send that through to you now. But essentially, it's just what else can we provide for you through these webinars? Because we try not to make them too long and drawn out, but we kind of want to give you the core information that actually allows you guys to make some decisions based off what the information we've given you. So if you can please fill out that, that'll be really, really good. It'll just really help us sort of refine these going forwards. But yeah, if you do have any questions, obviously we've got our contact details that come through to directly. You can just go onto the website and fill out the contact form. We'll be in touch that way if you need something very, very quickly. But we will follow up with you all tomorrow with the recording of the webinar and our contact details. So please just get in touch with us at that stage. Okay, great. Yeah, if you complete those responses, that'd be brilliant. We'll just hang on a couple of seconds while that happens, and then we'll end the webinar if that's okay. I can just see a couple of people type and just bear with me a second. Apparently the survey is blocked. I'm not quite sure why. We'll pick that out and we'll send that up as part of the follow-up. Don't worry, and we will send the recording as well. So yeah, we'll send the feedback form as part of the follow-up as well. So if you don't like completing that, that's fine. Rather than make everybody wait while we sort out some technical issues. Okay. Thanks very much, everybody. Thanks very much for your time. Please feel free to get in touch. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and like I say, refer back to the webinar recording if you need anything else. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.
Goodbye.